PPW, get ready to get pile driven.
It's the PPW, Piledriver Pro Wrestling Justice, alongside my broadcast partner, Mr. Facebook, JLH, John Law Hastings. We are witnessing the highest flying, hardest hitting wrestling circuit anywhere in Central California.
I got to tell you right now, Rodham, I took Facebook to levels it hasn't been, and tonight, right here in this match, I predict that the wise guy is going to get his comeuppance, and the returning Brian Cage is going to expose that yellow streak.
Well, I've got 3 words for you, wrestling fans. Fatal 4-way. What's on the line? Winner gets a PPW title match against the champion Funny Bone at Fallout June 4th. You mentioned Brian Cage coming all the way from Chico, California. This guy is no slouch. Former PPW world champ making his way to the ring right now.
I'm going to say he just wasted $4 a gallon to get here, because he's not leaving with a victory tonight, Rodham.
Of course, PPW fans, you'll remember, as former champ, Brian Cage actually did not lose the belt. He was stripped of the title back in January due to a shoulder injury. He's since recovered, he's 100%, and he's ready to get back what he thinks is rightfully his.
I heard it was more of a backbone injury, Rodham.
Coming to the ring right now, the Mexican werewolf, Chupi, El Chupacabra. This guy's been all over Northern California and Nevada. He hails from Reno, Nevada. And at 165 pounds, one of the smallest pro wrestlers you will ever see. But this guy is tough as nails, and boy, is he a high flyer.
Look at that, he's exposing his rib cage, Rodham. Oh wait, that's his shirt.
Well, we've seen Brian Cage, we've seen the Mexican werewolf El Chupacabra. Wise guy getting ready to step to the ring, of course, tonight at PPW Justice. He has staked his claim as temporary commissioner, and boy, he's had a good night here, JLH.
I don't know if that he stated his claim as a temporary commissioner or temporary insanity, Rodham.
Earlier tonight, JLH would say the wise guy screwed the white-collar criminal L.J. Summers out of a victory against Fresno's own Mike Ray.
He made that whole Bret Hart, Vince McMahon thing look okay.
Coming to the ring right now, Jardi Frantz. This guy, another high flyer. Boy, Jardi Frantz and the Mexican werewolf El Chupacabra. This is going to be one to watch.
Why is it anything associated with the word France, no matter what the spelling, always comes off as snobbish and ridiculous, Rodham?
You know anything about the Bay Area wrestling scene? You know who Jardi Frantz is. Former Elimination X-champ, now looking to make a name for himself in PPW. And of course, he's got his work cut out for him tonight in a fatal 4-way. Anything can happen in this match.
You know what the best thing about him being champion was, Rodham? Is that he's a former champion.
And now coming to the ring, the commissioner for the evening, Wise Guy. Wonder if Wise Guy, as acting commissioner, has any tricks up his sleeve to maybe give him the advantage in this fatal 4-way.
Well, all I know is I saw David Copperfield backstage, and I was wondering what he was doing there.
June 4th at PPW Fallout, the winner of this fatal 4-way goes on to fight the vaunted PPW champion Funny Bone. So there's a lot on the line tonight.
Funny Bone is an excellent representative for this company. I got to tell you, it looks to me like the wise guy has it out for everybody. So either friend or foe, that guy better watch their backs.
Now, John Law Hastings is a longtime wrestling fan. You know that a fatal 4-way match has its own characteristics. Describe to us what these wrestlers are going to experience.
Well, basically, it's a mini Royal Rumble, if you will. There's no friends. You can't trust anybody. And the thing about a match like this, Rodham, is that you don't even have to be pinned to lose it. You could literally be outside of the ring buying popcorn, and the next thing you know, one of your other opponents is pinned and you lose.
Well, 3 of these guys are going to go home losers tonight, as you see the camera focusing in on the Mexican werewolf Chupi, El Chupacabra, the high flyer, and I'm sure he's got some aerial acrobatics in store for us in this match.
He's a mysterious guy. I saw him back out in the back selling tickets to a Warrant concert earlier tonight.
He'll step in the ring first against Brian Cage, again coming all the way from Chico, California. You know, Chico, the home of Green Bay Packers quarterback Aaron Rodgers. There's a couple champs from the Chico area.
Yeah, and there's also an X on at exit 42 off the 99.
Brian Cage. Does the 99 go up to Chico? I wasn't aware of that. Brian Cage.
In my world, it does, Rodham.
Former PPW champ, again set to start off this fatal 4-way in the ring against Chupa. Oh, and now Jardi Frantz says, wait a second.
I'm going to guess that El Chupacabra, or I'm going to guess that Brian Cage wasn't a resident of Chico State.
You know, Chico is a town known for its passive, liberal nature. A lot of hippies up there. Brian Cage, certainly nothing passive or liberal about him.
Not at all. That's one guy I would not run in the present, want one run in my country for sure, with all of his goody two-shoe natured ways.
Now Bay Area high flyer Jardi Frantz evidently going to start out the match. Not sure what was wrong with Chupi there, but we're looking forward to getting this action underway in the Fatal 4-Way. Again, winner goes on to face Funny Bone and Fallout June 4th, Piledriver Pro Wrestling style.
There's some professional behaviorists who don't know what's going on with Chupi mentally, Rick. Look at this now. Wait a minute. Let me just point this out to you right here. These guys are starting off in this scientific classic style that works for a little while in a match like this. But I'm going to tell you, just like earlier with Plinko and Tap Out Kid, who started off all soft and squeezy, this thing's going to get hardcore before it's over.
Wrestlers feeling each other out at the moment. You have to know that Brian Cage, wants to turn this into a fight. He wants to get low down and dirty and then ground the high flyer Jardi Frantz, who can come at you from all directions, even above your head, JLH.
Totally. The guy is a high flyer, and he's got a great fashion sense regardless of his snobbish attitude.
Of course, Jardi Frantz, former Elimination ex-champion, known for his 360 backflip off the top rope. Wonder if we'll get to see that tonight. Certainly Brian Cage, as we know.
He has an amazing ability to leap from high places and do a backflip unequaled by anybody that I have seen in this business.
You see Brian Cage taking Jardi Frantz down the ground, trying to ground him again, working on that leg, and that's a real smart maneuver. The Cage veteran, Brian Cage.
Looks to me like he's taking some pages out of the Tap Out Kids book.
Fatal 4-Way here, folks, tonight. We're seeing Brian Cage and Jardi Frantz in the ring right now. There's El Chupacabra. It looks like he's itching to get in there.
He really wants a part of this action for sure.
Lock up in the middle of the ring, and again, Brian Cage, very powerful, takes control. Look in the ropes by Jardi Frantz.
You know what's...
This is the clothesline. Jardi Frantz. What is this?
Wow! Unbelievable action taking place here in the PPW tonight in this Fatal 4-Way. I got to tell you right now, Ron, I'm still bent out of shape about this Wise guy and his actions tonight.
The Wise guy will get a chance to prove that he can back up his mouth when he steps in the ring later tonight. But first, he might have to step in earlier. Jardi Frantz, high-flying maneuvers, might just get a quick pinfall victory over Brian Cage.
I will say this, for all of Brian Cage's lack of testicular fortitude, he can hang in a match for quite a while if he has to.
And this Jardi Frantz sure is exciting. Look at that, clears Brian Cage from the ring with the reverse back kick. You see maneuvers in here that you've never seen before, JLH, and you only see right here at PPW Justice.
Athletic quality is what it takes to become a professional wrestler in the first place, and our guys have it in multiple doses.
Speaking of high flyers, the Mexican werewolf Chupi now enters the ring, and right on cue. I don't even know what you call some of these moves.
Ahead of its time is what I would call it, Rodham.
And back and forth, Jardi Frantz and El Chupacabra go. And boy, don't blink, you might miss a little bit of this encounter.
Unbelievable. I blinked and I missed it all. Look at this. I think it's going to be over right here, Rodham.
Roll up.
Is this the same referee who's made all the bad calls tonight, Rodham?
Again, fast and furious. The action keeps coming at you. Fatal 4-Way at PPW Justice. The Mexican werewolf Chupi, El Chupacabra in the ring now against Jardi Frantz. And these two certainly go way back.
Well, let me ask you something, Rodham. You being Mr. Professionally Straight-Laced Broadcaster, who do you want to see win this match?
I don't have a rooting interest. Obviously, I like the Wise guy. I like what he's done for PPW.
Of course you would.
But you have to respect all these competitors. I want these fans to get their money's worth, and I'm sure they're going to.
So you feel, Mr. Professional Broadcaster, that by changing rules as they go along is giving the fans their money's worth?
Well, as a wise man once said, rules are made to be broken.
Ha! An even wiser man said, win if you can, lose if you must, but always cheat.
Speaking of wise men, Wise guy flipping El Chupacabra into the ropes, and then he does some flipping of his own over the ropes.
Wow.
Down below, knocking out Brian Cage and Jardi Frantz. That was an exciting move.
One thing about the PPW is you don't need 3D glasses because the action comes right out in your lap regardless of what you're wearing.
And here comes Wise guy, little no regard for his safety.
Wow.
And he takes out all three guys right there on the ring floor in front of this excited crowd at PPW Justice.
Somebody call the police department. There's been an accident on Blackstone.
I wonder if any of these guys are going to get up as the referee tries to count to 10. Are there countouts in the Fatal 4-Way?
Well, it won't matter because the Wise guy is making the rules up as he goes along.
Well, right now it looks like the Wise Guy's controlling the action
Of course.
as he flips El Chupacabra back in the ring.
Wait till he pulls some brass knuckles out of his pocket.
Going for a strong body slam.
Wow.
Off the ropes. Oh, and drops that quick elbow, piercing him right to the sternum.
He is tough. I will give him that credit. But that's a little bit of credit.
Speaking of tough, El Chupacabra kicking out at 2, looking to fight back against the Wise Guy.
El Chupacabra's fought odds all of his life. Really, reading, writing, arithmetic, you name it.
Of course, El Chupacabra from Nevada, comes from the Reno area, has wrestled all over Northern California. Probably one of the most famous wrestlers in the region and one of the most popular. Not JLH's favorite, but he means business tonight, trying to win this fatal four-way. Go on for a shot at the PPW title, fall out June 4th.
He got in trouble for wearing that makeup as a blackjack dealer at Binion's Horseshoe, so here he is now.
Wise Guy hitting him with the suplex, and Wise Guy's really starting to show his power and exert control over this fatal four-way.
The Wise Guy is doing all he can to ensure that he remains the top name in this company, regardless of whose bones and rules he breaks to get there.
Well, we talked about how you trust no one in a fatal four-way. How about Brian Cage
Perfect.
tagging himself in, nailing Wise Guy with a huge clothesline, and then, of course, the punishment continues for the Mexican Werewolf Chupi, who's really been on the worst end of a beating so far.
Who knew the pretty boy Brian Cage had it in him to actually show some backbone and throw an elbow in the heat of the moment?
Of course, Brian Cage, he's cocky, but he backs it up. He talks the talk, but he claims to walk the walk. Former PPW champion, and he'll tell you if you listen, he never lost that belt. It was stripped because of an injury, and his shoulder's fine now as he goes for the pin against El Chupacabra, kicks out.
We have an arm breaker taking place here via Brian Cage. He's been in this guy in half.
Of course, Brian Cage wants to ground the high flyer. The Mexican Werewolf Chupi can come at you from all directions, can hit you from the top of any rope, can fly all the way across the ring. So Brian Cage, again, being that savvy, cagey veteran, wants to get you down and really lay some punishment on you as he tags in Jardi Frantz.
And this is exactly what you need to do to keep Chupacabra down to the ground. Much like you needed to keep Plinko down on the mat earlier, these guys are doing what they can to keep this high flyer grounded.
And then another spinning kick from Jardi Frantz. This guy has more kicks than Pele.
I gotta tell you, Rodham, that was a heck of a quip. Unbelievable Pele references here in the PPW. You gotta love it, folks.
Goes for the pin. Probably would have had Chupi there were it not for some interference from the Wise Guy. Again, fatal four-way. You're not just wrestling your man in the ring. You're taking on all four, and only one of these guys goes on to face Funny Bone and Fallout for the PPW title June 4th.
Yeah, I gotta tell you right now, this guy France is showing me a lot of guts here tonight. Much more than he's shown me ever before.
Well, again, keep in mind, his reputation precedes him. Former Elimination X-Champ. If you know anything about the Bay Area wrestling scene, you know a lot about Jardi Frantz. As another Northern California heavyweight, Brian Cage steps back in the ring. And poor Mexican Werewolf Chupi is just he's absorbing a lot of punishment here, JLH. You have to wonder, is it 3-on-1 here?
I gotta tell you, it looks to me like there's a little profiling going on here, Rick, and I'm gonna let you go right now. The Chupacabra is in a lot of trouble from these three other guys.
What a power slam!
Oh, great save by the Wise Guy.
And the Wise Guy comes in to break it up.
And out he goes to the floor, courtesy of Brian Cage, who's really showing a different kind of attitude to me tonight.
Brian Cage thought he had it there. Now, Jardi Frantz tries to come in and take advantage of that huge power slam. He gets thrown out.
Wow, code breaker delivered to Cage. He is out on his feet and on his back, counting the lights, Rick.
Just when you thought the Mexican Werewolf Chupi was almost out of it, he's able to make a great counter, and in comes the Wise Guy with the head of steam, whipping Brian Cage into the ropes. Huge clothesline.
Unbelievable. Wow. Great action taking place here in the PPW right now.
Boy, and you have to love how the Wise Guy jumps off those ropes with that reverse clothesline. He's not just powerful, but he's also a high flyer.
And he's also sneaky, Rick.
Off the ropes comes Brian Cage.
Wow.
Textbook neck breaker.
This is it right here.
This
It's
could
got to be
it.
over.
The one, the two, oh!
France with another save. Who knew France could ever do anything offensively like that?
France not surrendering in this fatal four-way tonight.
Definitely not laying down.
Again, Brian Cage, former PPW champ, in the ring against tonight's commissioner, the wise guy. More than just a commissioner, as you can see, he can hold his own in the squared circle there.
I will have to agree with you there.
Oh!
Wow! Holy smokes, that's an inverted atomic drop to the back. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that.
With that knee in the back, it's a miracle if the wise guy's going to get up from this. Oh!
Great save. We move ahead now just a few minutes into the match. It's been so fast, furious, you didn't miss much. And here we go with a double back atomic backbreaker. Wow.
And look at this, Brian Cage. What is this?
What?
A sunset flip turned into the Boston Crab.
A reverse Boston Crab. No?
Yes. And now it looks like we might get a submission.
Wow.
Oh, out of nowhere comes the Mexican werewolf Chupi.
Chupacabra doing what he does best, and that's coming at you when you can't see.
Using every one of those 165 pounds. Another high flyer, Jardi Frantz. Boy, these two, Chupacabra in the ring against Jardi Frantz. I can watch these two all night long.
165, what'd you do? Dip him in water before the match, Rick?
Now it looks like the action's taking place outside the ring. Oh no. What's Jardi Frantz have for us?
Oh, corkscrew plancha.
720-degree spin in the air. I'd like to see Rajon run that, JLH.
He had to have been 15 feet high.
That's the type of action you can expect, folks, from the PPW Pile Driver Pro Wrestling, the hardest hitting, highest flying wrestling circuit in all of the West Coast. Of course, we're gearing up for the big event, June 4th at Fallout. One of these guys is going to take on Funny Bone. And I tell you what, Funny Bone has got his work cut out for him no matter who wins this match, JLH.
I know, and to your point about Rajon Rondo, good to see him out and about after choking to the heat. Oh! Wow, wait a minute now. I think France is going to land a maneuver of epic proportions.
Oh!
Spine buster, a la Arn Anderson. This could be it.
But again, here comes the wise guy. Boy, I tell you what, Brian Cage just had about 3 or 4 pinfalls. This guy's broke up tonight.
I think you might be right. That might be a record of Brian Cage breaking up attempts.
And here comes the wise guy. Great counter maneuver.
Standing Alabama Jam. Wow.
All the way from Seattle, Washington, by way of the Alabama Jam, and now he might have Brian Cage out for the count until Chupacabra comes from out of nowhere.
This guy is sneakier than the Hamburglar, Rick. I got to tell you right now, he is throwing chops, throwing lefts, throwing rights, and he's going to make this guy feel not all right.
Fast and furious with that south of the border lucha libre style. The Mexican werewolf.
Here we go, big tilt-a-whirl into a, I don't even know what to call it.
Is this a submission maneuver? Wow.
Look at the strength on the wise guy. Whoa!
Fortunately for the wise guy, Jardi Frantz comes in and says, breaking up again, folks. Fatal four-way. These guys are, it's man for himself.
You never know what's going to take place in a match like this, and on top of that, it's a potential career ender with every move.
Jardi Frantz has no risk for life or limb. He's the high flyer up on the top rope. Could this be? Yes, it is.
Unbelievable. That guy just did flips I've never seen a man attempt.
That's a 360-degree backflip off the top rope, and now comes the wise guy delivering a shot to the small of the back to Jardi Frantz, and that'll ground a high flyer.
This is unbelievable, the action taking place in this match right now. Every man in this match, regardless of my personal feelings for them, deserve a shot at the funny bone.
Shotty on the spot, tries to take advantage of the wise guy, who quickly counter maneuvers, but then he tried to glide off a little too much with that one.
Brian Cage always taking risks he may not be ready to take as far as, you know, being so soft in the heart. But I'm going to tell you right now, he's showing me a little bit tonight.
Oh, Brian Cage catches it.
Unbelievable twists and turns taking place in this match. Whoa, Cage! Wow, tilting whirly dervish. This could be it for the Chupacabra.
Brian Cage just has this great ability to counter the high flyers. He can catch you in midair, flip you upside down, and throw you on your back.
And he has a great ability to hide behind injuries, Rado.
Speaking of high flyers, Jardi Frantz with an off-the-top rope drop kick. And right now, the action is fast and furious. It's hard for us to call, and I'm sure you wrestling fans are enjoying every minute of it. And now the two high flyers are up on the ropes. Wonder what we're going to see here.
France is going to end it right now. Oh, wait a minute. Wow, Cage.
Brian Cage has anything to say about it.
Wow, this is just unbelievable. Cage.
Wow, what a power bomb.
Cage now, I think he's going to wrap this up right here, Rodham. There's no really stopping him. He's a house of fire right now.
Watch out Chupacabra, though. Watch the Mexican werewolf Chupi here as he's able to elbow Cage. What's he going to do here? Spins. Oh, my!
Wow.
Cover him. 1, 2, 3.
Wow.
After absorbing so much punishment from all three wrestlers in this fatal four-way tonight at PPW Justice, the Mexican werewolf, the guy who was beaten down this entire match, is able to pull it out in the end. And folks, June 4th, PPW Fallout, it's going to be El Chupacabra going on to face the PPW champion Funny Bone.
Well, you're right about that, Rodham. This guy took a bigger beating than a pinata at a 5-year-old's birthday party, but somehow, some way, he was able to land that huge maneuver and make the uno dos tres for the Dios Mios victory right here in Fresno.
165 pounds, the smallest guy in the ring, one of the smallest wrestlers on the West Coast scene, but boy, it's not the size of the dog in the fight, it's the size of the fight in the dog, and there you see the man he'll face at Fallout for the PPW Championship June 4th. Funny Bone is one tough customer, JLH.
Now I'm going to tell you right now that Funny Bone is going to lay it down to Chupacabra as to what to expect June 4th at Fallout. $10 doors, you're going to see a lot of destruction on the behalf of Funny Bone to the face of Chupacabra.
Will Funny Bone's power be enough to overcome the Mexican werewolf Chupi? We'll find out June 4th at Fallout. Join us for more Piledriver Pro Wrestling action.